Ever wondered what it was like to fly when air travel was more than just getting from point A to point B? When the journey itself was an experience of luxury and style? Today, we're exploring 25 air travel features that define the golden age of flying. Legroom. Back in the day, if you wanted to stretch your legs on a plane, you didn't have to be a contortionist. Airplane cabins were spacious, with seats that offered generous legroom and were wider, making flights a lot more comfortable. The seat pitch, the distance between seats, was around 36 to 40 inches, compared to the tight 28 inches we're squeezed into today. Passengers could relax and enjoy their journey without feeling cramped, turning air travel into a luxurious, almost leisurely experience. Airlines focused on passenger comfort rather than maximizing the number of seats, and this extra space was a big part of what made flying feel like a privilege rather than just a way to get from one place to another. But what if I told you that wasn't the only feature that made air travel feel like a luxury? Stay tuned, because next, we'll dive into another in-flight experience. Fashion show in the sky. Ever wondered what it was like when flying meant dressing to impress? Air travel in the past was as much about being seen as it was about getting to your destination. You wouldn't catch someone wearing pajamas or sweatpants on a plane back then. Flying was more like attending a fashion show in the sky. Both passengers and crew members dressed in their finest attire, with men in tailored suits and polished shoes, and women in elegant dresses, gloves, and hats. Flight attendants, known as stewardesses, wore uniforms designed by top fashion houses like Christian Dior and Chanel, turning the skies into a runway of high fashion. This stylish approach wasn't just about appearances, it reflected the sophistication and exclusivity of air travel during that era, adding to its allure and making every flight a truly memorable event. Gourmet meals. Imagine being served a meal in the sky that rivals what you'd find in a five-star restaurant. In the golden age of flying, that's exactly what passengers could expect. Multi-course gourmet meals were the norm, prepared by skilled chefs and served with fine china and real silverware. This wasn't just food, it was an experience designed to make flying feel like a special event. Airlines went above and beyond to make sure passengers dined like royalty, with some airlines, like Olympic Airways, even offering gold-plated cutlery in first class. It was a time when even the food on a plane was a symbol of luxury and attention to detail. But gourmet dining was just the beginning. Imagine sipping cocktails in a lounge at 30,000 feet, or enjoying live piano music while you cruise through the clouds. Curious? You'll want to stick around for what's coming next. The flying piano bar. Can you imagine hearing the soft notes of a piano while soaring above the clouds? Believe it or not, there was a time when you could enjoy live piano music while flying through the sky. In the 1970s, some first-class sections of airplanes were transformed into flying luxury lounges, complete with cocktail bars and pianos. These lounges provided a space for passengers to relax, socialize, and enjoy a drink or two while cruising at 30,000 feet. The pianos weren't grand pianos, but often electric Wurlitzer organs, which added to the ambiance of a sophisticated party in the sky. Even more impressively, American Airlines had an economy-class piano bar at the rear of their 747-100 cabin, making live music accessible to a broader range of passengers. This unique feature truly made air travel feel like a flying nightclub, a concept that remains iconic to this day. So next time you hear about luxurious flights, don't forget about the unforgettable experience of the flying piano bar. Spiraling architecture. Did you know that airplanes once had spiral staircases? When the first commercial planes took to the skies, architecture and design took flight as well. The Boeing 747, introduced in 1970, wasn't just a plane. It was a masterpiece of design, with two stories connected by a spiral staircase. Its spacious cabins could hold over 500 passengers, making it a marvel of engineering and a symbol of the era's ambitious spirit. This design wasn't just limited to the skies. It also inspired buildings on the ground, like the TWA terminal at JFK Airport, designed by Eero Saarinen, which looks like a bird in flight. It was an era where design and functionality soared together, making air travel a truly elevated experience. Have you ever heard of flight engineers? No? Then let me tell you more about this crucial role in aviation history. Flight engineers. Did you know that flying a plane once required more than just pilots? It also needed flight engineers, the unsung heroes of aviation, responsible for managing and operating the plane's complex systems. While they didn't actually fly the plane, they played a critical role by monitoring and controlling vital systems like the engines, fuel, and hydraulics. These engineers worked closely with the pilots to ensure everything ran smoothly and safely during the flight. On larger planes, flight engineers were indispensable, acting as an extra set of hands and eyes. However, with advancements in technology and the rise of automation, their role has been largely replaced by sophisticated computer systems. The last major U.S. airline to use flight engineers was Northwest Airlines, who retired their final planes with engineer stations in 2009, marking the end of an era in aviation history. Their contributions, though often overlooked, were essential in shaping the safe and efficient air travel we know today. Air stairs. Before the invention of jet bridges, stepping off a plane was like making a grand entrance. Passengers often disembarked using air stairs or a mobile stairway, walking down to the tarmac with the wind in their hair, feeling the excitement of the journey they had just completed. Air stairs were a common feature on many aircraft, including the famous Boeing 727 and the McDonnell Douglas DC-9. This direct connection with the airport added a touch of drama and excitement to air travel, making every arrival feel like a special event. Air stairs also played a unique role in aviation history, most famously when hijacker D.B. Cooper used them to make his daring escape in 1971. But what if I told you that's not the only fascinating aspect of aviation history? Stay tuned, because next we'll explore another intriguing feature that made air travel truly unforgettable. Laid-back security. Can you imagine a time when getting on a plane was as easy as hopping on a bus? There was an era when airport security was much more relaxed, allowing passengers to breeze through without the extensive checks we're so accustomed to today. There were no concerns about taking off your shoes, removing belts, or worrying about the size of liquids in your carry-on. Have you ever wondered what it was like to walk straight to your gate without long lines or body scanners? However, this casual approach to security gradually changed over time, especially as hijackings became more common. Did you know that between 1961 and 1972, there were 159 aircraft hijackings in U.S. airspace? The increasing frequency of such incidents led to significant changes, with New Orleans International Airport being the first to use metal detectors in 1970. This marked a pivotal step towards the stringent security measures we know today, transforming the entire air travel experience. Postcards from the sky. Before smartphones and the internet, staying in touch from the sky meant sending a postcard. Airlines used to provide special in-flight postcards, allowing passengers to write messages to loved ones while flying high above the clouds. These postcards would then be mailed after landing, carrying greetings from one part of the world to another. It was a charming tradition that added a personal and thoughtful touch to air travel, creating a lasting memory of the journey. Passengers could take a moment to reflect on their travels, jotting down their thoughts and experiences for those waiting at home. Today, these in-flight postcards have become rare collectibles, treasured for their unique history and the nostalgia they evoke, reminders of a time when communication was a bit more deliberate and special. Did you know that you were once allowed to smoke on planes too? I'll tell you more about it now, so be sure to stay tuned. Smoking in the skies. Can you imagine lighting up a cigarette while cruising at 30,000 feet? There was a time when airplanes were like flying lounges, where smoking wasn't just allowed, it was the norm. Passengers could light up right in their seats, and the cabin air was often thick with smoke. Special smoking areas were designated for those who wanted to enjoy a cigarette or a cigar mid-flight, creating a social atmosphere that was quite different from today's flights. This was before the health risks of smoking were widely known, and smoking was considered just another part of the journey. Flight attendants even handed out complimentary cigarettes as part of the service, making smoking an integrated part of the in-flight experience. Over time, as awareness of the dangers of smoking grew, airlines gradually phased out smoking sections, with the last US flight where smoking was allowed taking off in 2000. This marked the end of an era where lighting up in the skies was just another part of the travel experience, forever changing the way we fly. Sleeping berths. In the golden age of air travel, long-haul flights were often equipped with sleeping berths, allowing passengers to lie flat and get some real rest. These berths, typically available in first class, provided a level of comfort that's hard to find even in today's premium cabins. The experience was akin to traveling in a luxurious sleeper train, where the journey itself became an extension of your holiday or business trip. Passengers could stretch out, enjoy a good night's sleep, and arrive at their destination feeling refreshed and ready for the day ahead. But don't go anywhere just yet. There are even more. Stay tuned, because there's so much more to discover. In-flight entertainment. Have you ever wondered what passengers did for entertainment before personal screens and streaming services became the norm? Long before we could binge-watch our favorite shows at 30,000 feet, in-flight entertainment was a much more communal and engaging experience. Passengers were treated to live performances, such as magic shows, stand-up comedy, or live music, particularly on long international flights. Some airlines went the extra mile by offering film screenings in dedicated cinema sections, complete with drop-down projectors and plush seating. Imagine gathering with fellow passengers to watch the latest movie releases or enjoy a live concert, with flight attendants serving popcorn and drinks. The entertainment wasn't just a way to pass the time. It was part of the overall flying experience, designed to make each flight feel special, unique, and truly enjoyable. Even the sound of a piano playing in the background could enhance the atmosphere, making air travel feel more like a high-end social event than simply a mode of transportation. Personalized service. Can you imagine being greeted by name the moment you step onto a plane? Back then, flight attendants were trained to provide highly personalized service, knowing passengers by name and catering to their individual preferences. This attention to detail made every passenger feel valued and added a warm, personal touch to the flying experience. Have you ever wished your favorite drink could be waiting for you before you even ask? In the golden age of air travel, it was common for flight attendants to remember such details, from your preferred cocktail to how you liked your coffee. They would also go out of their way to adjust meals according to dietary needs or preferences, ensuring that each passenger's journey was as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. The level of care extended beyond just service. It was about creating a connection and making sure every passenger felt like a VIP. Wouldn't it be nice if flying still felt this personal today? This kind of service made air travel feel luxurious, and it's one of the many features that set the golden age of flying apart from today's experience. Sky lounges. Can you picture yourself sipping a cocktail while lounging comfortably above the clouds? Airlines like Pan Am and TWA featured exclusive onboard lounges where passengers could relax, socialize, and enjoy drinks during the flight. These sky lounges were often located on the upper deck of aircraft, like the iconic Boeing 747, creating a club-like atmosphere that was both sophisticated and inviting. The lounges were designed with plush seating, ambient lighting, and a fully stocked bar, offering a unique space where passengers could mingle and unwind while flying at 30,000 feet. It was a luxurious experience that made air travel feel more like a high-end social event than just a way to get to your destination. If you enjoyed learning about the golden age of air travel, make sure to subscribe and keep watching for more fascinating insights. Fine dining table settings. Ever wondered what it was like to enjoy a meal on a plane that felt like dining in a five-star restaurant? Airlines used to serve meals with real glassware, porcelain plates, and linen tablecloths, even in economy class. This attention to detail was a significant part of what made the in-flight dining experience feel upscale and special. The clinking of glassware and the weight of real silverware added to the sense of occasion, making each meal feel like a fine dining experience at 30,000 feet. Imagine cutting into a perfectly cooked steak with a real knife and fork, or savoring a glass of wine from a proper wine glass. Even the trays were designed to accommodate these high-quality settings, with each item carefully arranged to enhance the dining experience. It wasn't just about the food. It was about the entire presentation and the feeling of being pampered in the skies. Can you imagine experiencing such luxury on your next flight? It's a far cry from today's plastic cutlery and prepackaged meals, and it's one of the many ways air travel has evolved over the years. Elegantly designed menus. Did you know that in the golden age of flying, even the menus were a work of art? Airlines collaborated with renowned chefs and designers to create beautifully illustrated menus that offered a selection of gourmet dishes. These menus weren't just about listing meals. They were crafted to enhance the entire dining experience, making passengers feel like they were choosing from an exclusive restaurant menu. Passengers could select from a variety of options, including regional specialties that highlighted the cuisine of the flight's origin or destination. This attention to detail made dining in the sky a truly memorable culinary experience, adding to the overall luxury of air travel. But what other surprising luxuries were offered during these flights? Stay tuned, because the next feature is something you won't want to miss. Complimentary travel kits. Can you imagine receiving a travel kit so luxurious that it felt like a gift from a high-end boutique? In the golden age of air travel, passengers, especially those in first and business class, were often given complimentary travel kits that were both functional and luxurious. These kits went far beyond the basics. They featured high-end toiletries from prestigious brands, cozy sleep masks, and sometimes even plush pajamas. Have you ever wished for a more comfortable way to freshen up during a long flight? These kits provided everything you needed to arrive feeling refreshed and pampered. The items were carefully curated to enhance the travel experience, making the flight more enjoyable and leaving a lasting impression on passengers. Even the design of the kits was thoughtfully considered, often reflecting the airline's brand or the destination's culture. Wouldn't it be nice to have such thoughtful touches on flights today? These kits weren't just about comfort. They were a statement of the airline's commitment to providing an exceptional experience. Handwritten boarding passes. Can you imagine receiving a handwritten boarding pass as you prepared to embark on your journey? Before the advent of digital technology, boarding passes were often carefully handwritten, adding a personal and exclusive touch to the travel experience. This meticulous attention to detail wasn't just about functionality. It was about creating a sense of occasion and making each passenger feel special. The personal touch didn't stop there. Airlines extended this care to other aspects of the journey, such as personalized luggage tags adorned with your name and welcome notes from the captain or airline staff, often written in elegant script. These thoughtful gestures made passengers feel like valued guests rather than just travelers, enhancing the overall experience of flying. But we're not done yet. If you've ever heard of cocktail service with flair, keep watching. Cocktail service with flair. Can you imagine being served a perfectly mixed cocktail at 30,000 feet, complete with all the flair of a high-end bar? In the golden age of flying, flight attendants were trained not only in safety protocols, but also in the art of crafting and serving cocktails. Many flights offered a full bar service, where attendants would skillfully mix drinks on a cart, shaking and stirring cocktails right in front of passengers. This wasn't just about providing beverages, it was about creating a memorable experience. The sound of ice clinking in a shaker, the sight of a martini being expertly poured into a glass, and the personal interaction all added to the sense of luxury. Passengers could choose from a variety of classic and custom cocktails, enjoying their drinks as if they were in an exclusive lounge rather than on a plane. This level of service brought an element of showmanship to air travel, making the journey feel as indulgent as the destination. Sky nannies. Certain airlines, such as Gulf Air, offered sky nannies to assist families traveling with young children. These nannies were specially trained to provide childcare services during the flight, helping to keep children entertained with activities, stories, and games. This service allowed parents to enjoy some much-needed relaxation while knowing their children were in good hands. The presence of a sky nanny made family travel much more comfortable and stress-free, adding an extra layer of luxury and convenience to the flying experience. Can you imagine that? Would there be a dedicated children's play area on the aircraft? Because I'll tell you more about that now. Dedicated children's play areas. Can you imagine a time when flying was not just a journey, but an adventure for children? Some airlines went out of their way to make flights enjoyable for younger passengers by including dedicated play areas on board. These areas were equipped with toys, games, and sometimes even supervised activities to keep kids entertained throughout the flight. The play areas were designed to cater to the needs of children, providing a space where they could move around, have fun, and interact with other young travelers. This thoughtful addition made flying a delightful experience for kids and a relief for parents who could relax knowing their children were happily occupied. Airlines like Japan Airlines and Scandinavian Airlines System, SAS, were known for these kid-friendly amenities, which turned air travel into a memorable adventure for the whole family. Wouldn't it be amazing if such features were still around today? This level of attention to passengers' needs, especially the youngest ones, truly set the golden age of flying apart. Spacious lounge areas. Beyond just sky lounges, many planes in the golden age of flying were designed with spacious common areas where passengers could stretch their legs, chat with fellow travelers, or simply stand and relax, something that's almost unheard of in today's densely packed cabins. These areas were often located in the middle or rear of the aircraft and featured comfortable seating, sometimes even including couches and coffee tables. Passengers could gather here to socialize, enjoy a drink, or take a break from their seats, making the long hours of flight much more bearable. The open space provided a sense of freedom and comfort, allowing travelers to move about more freely than on today's flights. These common areas contributed to the overall luxury and relaxed atmosphere of air travel during that era, making the journey as enjoyable as the destination itself. Upper deck lounges. Can you imagine relaxing in an exclusive lounge on the upper deck of a jumbo jet while flying across the globe? Beyond the standard sky lounges, some airlines offered upper deck lounges on iconic aircraft like the Boeing 747, elevating the luxury of air travel to new heights. These upper deck lounges were designed to be the epitome of in-flight sophistication, featuring spacious seating with plush, comfortable chairs, and sometimes even sofas. Panoramic windows offered breathtaking views of the skies, adding to the serene ambiance. Incredibly, some lounges were even outfitted with faux fireplaces, creating a cozy, inviting atmosphere where first-class passengers could unwind and socialize. These lounges were not just places to sit. They were designed to be destinations in themselves, providing a retreat from the main cabin and offering a level of comfort and exclusivity that made flying feel like a special event. Wouldn't it be amazing to experience such luxury today? These upper deck lounges truly captured the essence of the golden age of air travel. In-flight libraries. Can you imagine turning your flight into a literary escape at 30,000 feet? Certain long-haul flights offered in-flight libraries stocked with a curated selection of books and magazines. Passengers could borrow reading materials for the duration of the flight, immersing themselves in novels, travel guides, or the latest magazines. These libraries were often located in designated areas of the cabin, sometimes in the lounge or near the seating area, making it convenient for passengers to pick up a book as they settled into their seats. The presence of an in-flight library transformed the journey into an opportunity to relax and enjoy some quiet reading time, adding a cultured and intellectual touch to air travel. Whether it was escaping into a fictional world or catching up on current events, these libraries catered to the needs of well-traveled and curious passengers, making the flight more enjoyable and enriching. The golden age of air travel was filled with luxury and memorable experiences. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next video on luxurious cruise ships. Safe travels.